collectively you've raised like $41 million,
Yeah,
right?
it's like 41 and a half.
Right. So if you want to like break down the art of fundraising for, let's say, a 21-year-old kid who's sitting in the college dorm and looking at you, right?
Yeah.
What are like some 3 actionable items that...
Fundraising is like an infection where you create FOMO, where it's like you start off with one person who's like the first kind of infected, and they spread to 2 people, and those spread to 2 people, and eventually FOMO the entire market. First thing is to build a network. I was in New York where I was just like going happy hours, meeting friends. There's actually like a group called like NYC Chillos. Shout out if you're watching this. It started off with like 3 friends that were just like one was VC, and actually they were both VCs, but like just both friends. And we slowly expanded that out, and now the group chat's like 55 in there, and it's a bunch of New York City friends. And when I started off like hanging out with people, it wasn't transactional. It wasn't like I'm gonna be friends with you, and then you're gonna invest in me 2 weeks later. It's like I want to get to know you, build trust, build relationships, because ultimately all these investor relations are like founder bets. The technology is like usually a second thought in crypto, especially during bull markets. It's can this founder sell a narrative and sell a dream to public markets? So like building the relationship and trust with a bunch of friends in New York led me to kind of have my own personal network, and then after that, like kind of when I was fundraising, I was able to go to the direct network and be like, look, we're raising, what do you guys think? And A, that helped me a lot of feedback early on, and then B, obviously to capital formation. So A, the first topic is like be in a resource heavy city, so that's like New York, San Francisco, maybe Asia, and then raise capital and like and build like a network. The second thing is like be ready to fail, like be ready for 1,000 no's. I would actually encourage you or whoever's listening to this to like probably talk to like the VCs that aren't known first, knowing that they'll say no, but try to hear feedback. So when we started off, our feedback was obviously there's no lead investor at the time. So that's the first usual feedback. But then B, it's like, okay, these guys are founders, they didn't really have tech built out, but it was also like the pitch deck was kind of off, or like they didn't have the narrative to figure it out. So like there's actually good feedback that comes from listening to no. So my second like kind of answer would be like be ready to hear a bunch of no's and learn from each no. What I did is I kept like kind of a Notion doc and like spoke to this investor. This is why they passed. It was always the first answer was like no lead investor, which makes sense. The second answer was like okay, here's specific feedback, and ask for feedback. And I think the third thing was like lean on like be like humble enough to ask for help. So I was fortunate enough to have like early angels and supporters, and I would like, bother them every day. I'm like, okay, can you make this introduction? Can you do this for me? Not in a transactional way, but like I need help. Can you like give some advice? So like having like mentors and advisors that you trust and that believe in you early on, how you kind of get there. I think it's like kind of fundraising is like an infection where you create FOMO, where it's like you start off with one person who's like the first kind of infected, and they spread to 2 people, and those spread to 2 people, and eventually FOMO the entire market.
Nice. You've always been very vocal about how Smokey has been like really helpful to you, right? He's like a mentor to you of sorts, right? How has your relationship like been with him? Yeah,
I posted this yesterday. I mean, they just announced the big $100 million raise. So I actually DM'd Smokey like randomly, like he didn't know who I was, and I was like. He actually posted a tweet. He was like, I'm like helping out founders, reach out if you're interested. And then I just reached out to him like, hey, here's what I'm building. He's like, I've heard of this, let's hop on a call. Hops an intro call. Just like I learned about community building, kind of what he like learned. Nothing really happened out of that. And I would text him every now and then for like the next few weeks. I'd be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Can we hop on a follow-on call? And the most important thing that Smokey was he was kind. I didn't have any hype back then. No one knew who I was. But he just took the undivided time. I was like, I'm just gonna help out this kid. So the first start, obviously, he couldn't throw his entire trust and support by him, because he also, what people have to understand is like, when people like, vouch for people, it's also their reputation online. If I vouch for a scammer, then it's like people will never trust me again, right? So he had to trust me, and then eventually, once he started learning who I was, he started like made 1 introduction, 2 introductions. I converted those introductions, and that builds momentum. And then those people help me do more introductions. So actually, it's less on him. But then like having that one person who's done what you want to do at the time, and like has arguably one of the most successful founders today, has really been impactful.